What's going on?
Shane, Rocky's dead. Murdered by two men dressed up as women. They left a calling card.
We're up to our butts in this thing and we don't even know what it's about.
Welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B movie and immediately discuss. I'm Tom. I'm here with Brittany and Eric.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How is it going for everyone tonight?
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right, good. We're coming off of watching the 1990 Andy Sedaris movie Guns. And it was my pick.
Sure was.
It was, and I picked it because I really didn't know what else to watch. So I narrowed it down to this mood of movie. The mood was, this was kind of what I was into, so we decided to watch this. And that's the kind of bosomy babes in action movies blowing things up kind of mood. And I know we all get in those every so often.
Yeah. Every so often.
Yeah.
Now, for our listeners, we have watched a couple of Andy Sedaris movies. We have, like a dozen pack of Andy Sedaris films where they all basically follow the same general theme.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cheap C-grade action movies, probably directly to VHS, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for the rental crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
With busty babes and non-existent plot lines.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels like it's got a little Baywatch in it. It's got a little Miami Vice in it.
Lots of Miami Vice going on in this one, especially.
It's also got a lot of like porn vibe. So
Yep.
So
Tommy sleepover movie if I've ever seen one before.
Oh yeah, this is right up Tommy sleepovers. And I guess this movie's about Eric Estrada.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how you spin this one.
Eric Estrada is a bad guy. He's
Not in real life or in the movie?
both.
Okay.
Both.
He's a villain.
He's a gun runner, and he tries to assassinate one of two agents that work for the agency.
The federal one.
Whatever one they're talking about. And he tries to murder one of them, and he screws it up. He kills the wrong person, and then the rest of the movie is him trying to play catch up with that, and
The agency also trying to catch him.
and evading the agency as well. That's basically it, and it really didn't get much further than that.
It's a bit Samurai Cop, but a little more convoluted.
Yeah.
Same general idea.
Okay. Now, how do you guys feel after watching this?
I don't really feel a whole lot of anything.
No, I'm
This movie
kind of...
left me dead inside.
Me too.
Okay, you clowns, cut the crap.
What have we watched? We watched Hard Ticket Hawaii.
And Malibu Express?
Yeah, Malibu Express was terrible. I think that was one of his early ones.
Yeah.
And then Hard Ticket to Hawaii had moments of brilliance, but was mostly really boring.
Yeah. Well, this one, I think, if I'm comparing it to the other two that we've watched, I think I like this one the most.
This is the one I would say I'm closest to saying this is a fun watch.
I enjoyed it, but I really could not tell you why.
Exactly.
I had no idea what was happening most of the time.
But it was moving along. If there's one
Yeah.
thing I can say about this movie, and
It did clip along at a nice...
it was steady. It was rock steady with a couple of spikes of absurdity.
Yeah.
So you could buy into it because it wasn't like boring. I mean, it kind of was, but it kind of wasn't.
It definitely had like TV serial pacing. You know what I mean? And not like a good TV serial.
Yeah.
I feel like a lack of clear definition of characters and what was going on really made it feel more boring than it was. Mm-hmm. Because it was kind of hard to follow the story, which makes it kind of hard to be engaged with what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. But if we're gonna pluck anything from this movie as a success, what are we gonna point at?
I thought it had a pretty decent production value.
Yeah.
Like everything looked great.
Yeah.
That's it. No, like all the explosions were cool. Everything looked great. There was no weird like microphones bobbling in and out of the scene that I could see.
Yeah.
No technical fouls like that, I don't think.
No, this wasn't a like bad kind of movie.
Yeah, but it also didn't look like they went to like Savers and shopped for wardrobe there or anything.
Yeah, like we have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, they did it better than we did. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like it had the production value of a TV show made 5 years before it came out.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, not if you're going straight to tape.
Yeah.
Right? This is 1990. Still living in the 80s probably for the majority of the production of this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You
And
could tell by the bikinis and hairstyles.
Just the clothing in general, which was awesome.
Which was great. I gotta say, I loved everything that everybody wore, right? I don't know. We commented on a couple of people's articles of clothing. I thought that was a total plus to the movie. It was an engaging moment.
Had a little bit of deadly prey going on when they were working at the resort, and they had like jumpsuits on, but they were like shorts.
Yeah.
That reminded
When
me.
you have to be official but sexy.
Yeah, right. That reminded me of the military chick from Deadly Prey.
Oh, her military grade diaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. I like this movie's use of leather. I think
Go on.
In the way that it was completely unnecessary and out of the blue at all times.
and completely necessary, and right there for me to see at all times. Yeah.
We saw more than one leather bikini, which is usually one more than you ever see in like a year.
I don't know. I thought it looked. I don't know. I was like, man, I kind of like this. I kind of like this leather look. What's going on?
Like a secret bondage thing going on.
Yeah,
that
Tom,
we
are you
don't know
discovering things about yourself?
Is that-
Did Andy Sedaris open you up?
Maybe he did. I mean, when you get to be like close to 30, is that when you start to like dig leather?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is that like the leather anniversary of life?
about. A leatherversary. And then another person had like a leather inseam.
Yeah,
That's
like on the
right.
jeans. Yeah, it was really weird.
Like imagine chaps, but jeans, and then where your bare ass and crotch would be, it's leather.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, they were so terrible.
Yeah. That
Anyway.
that I didn't understand, but I appreciated it anyway. Thank you, leather. Anything else?
No, not for me personally.
No, not really. I mean, some of the action scenes were okay. Mm-hmm. Kind of the vibe I was getting, and the vibe I get from most of his movies is that he takes like the slasher movie approach to action thrillers.
Okay.
And that I think we had watched Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I think that predates us doing the podcast. But the reason we watched it was we saw this clip on YouTube where there's a frisbee fight on a beach where a man kills another man with a frisbee.
With razor blades.
Yeah. And that was amazing. And there was another clip from the same movie where two of the main characters blow up a dude on a skateboard carrying a blow-up doll with a bazooka. And then while the blow-up doll is floating around in the air, they shoot that too. But those are the only two good things in the movie. And I feel like that's the kind of same approach that like slasher movies would take to try to drag you in and make you watch the movie, even though the rest of it's not really that great. This movie basically extends that, but there were so many more moments that made it worth watching, and it kept going along as opposed to Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which has like the one good spot at the beginning and the one good spot at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, it had, I mean, it took a bit for something, memorable to happen, but it was kind of worth the wait. I think we said with the first great moment of this was, 37 minutes in or something like that. Then it was pretty steady after that.
Yeah, it was peaks and valleys, mostly valleys, but the peaks were good enough.
I pretty much starred every peak of the movie as a favorite part, I think. I don't know. I think we can all agree on that. But if that's it, let's talk about some failures then. What do you guys think?
There's too many fucking protagonists in this movie.
So many.
There's like 20 characters on the good guy's side, and none of them are memorable, and I don't know their names.
No.
Like 4 of them have names.
Yeah.
I know Donna and Nicole were the ones that were being like chased by Eric Estrada. Like they were the agency, and then they had like 2 dude friends, one of which his name was Shane, and the other dude wore a leather vest. And
Ken dolls 1 and 2.
Yes,
They were all low budget Don Johnsons, every single one of them.
and then from then on there was just characters upon characters who I have no idea who they were.
I know someone would get killed, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay," and then they would show up 2 scenes later, or so I thought, and I'd be like, "Wait, I thought she like got shot in the chest. I thought she worked at the restaurant."
Nope,
Oh,
that's
no.
the other busty blonde.
totally someone else.
Yeah,
But I mean, the bad guys didn't have the same problem though.
That's very
Like
true.
we had Eric Estrada, who I think they just told him he was going to be on Miami Vice, even though the show was already over. You had Danny Trejo, who was criminally underused, but
So
very
young.
memorable.
So young.
Yeah, if he never appeared in anything else again, you'd be like, "What? What was that guy? That guy was cool."
Yeah.
And the rest of the bad guy squad was pretty memorable too. The two cross-dressing guys, the assassins.
Yeah, the two dudes.
They
and
left
then
their mark.
Eric
Yeah.
Estrada's like girlfriend, assassination person.
Right. So I mean, it's not like they couldn't handle a number of characters. It's just for some reason the good guys, they just shit the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the distinctions.
Like, if we're being honest, there was like 12 of them.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
that was a big issue.
Just the complete confusion of the plot. I feel like they mention people and as if we're supposed to know who they are, and we don't at all for obvious reasons because this movie started 4 minutes ago. It just made it so hard to follow.
Yeah.
Like the guy that I'm so confused about it. The guy that Eric Estrada ended up being.
What?
What?
The guy that Eric Estrada ended up being.
Oh, like his actual.
Yeah, like
who
he was
actually
somebody pretending to be somebody else.
Wait.
Wait,
I
what?
think I might have missed this plot point.
I didn't get that either. What?
Unless I'm just super confused because they were calling. What was his name the whole time?
He was the Jack of Diamonds. That was like
yeah, they were
his-
calling him that.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and his name was like blah 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 Dega or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then they faxed that photo of the guy with the longer name, when I can't remember. It was like,
Joaquin something?
Yes.
No, that's the same guy.
is it?
Yes.
Because
Now I'm not sure.
No.
well, because that's what I thought when I was watching it. But then at the end, he's like, "My name is Joaquin, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Wait, I thought that was a totally fucking different guy."
Well, yeah.
Because they faxed him the photo, looked nothing like.
Oh yeah,
him.
you're right. They were like, "Oh yeah, our last file photo was from 10 years ago," and they were like, "Son of a bitch, it's him."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a picture of him from 10 years ago that was printed from like a really shitty fax machine in like 1990.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I was just very confused by who he actually was
He was the
and
he
why
was-
they were going after Nicole and Donna in the first
I mean,
place.
the fact that Brittany could potentially completely make up a plot point out of thin air is probably a problem with the movie and not her.
That's a very good point.
Because that rarely ever happens. You don't just make shit up.
Wait, what movie did you watch?
Then there was the part with the ghosts.
Well, hold on. I know why he tried to kill them, but only because I looked it up.
I'm just kidding. There were no ghosts. Continue.
Wait, there weren't?
No, the ghost of filmmaking as a craft appeared in this movie.
I looked it up. The reason that he wanted to try and kill them was to distract them to go to Vegas so that he could use Hawaii as the epicenter of his gun run.
That's the worst plan I've ever heard. That's a very temporary solution to a very permanent problem.
Well, he's got 5 of those really cool guns coming in.
Oh, I hate him. I just wrote, plot is so convoluted. Who, what, when, why, how.
Yeah, none of those questions were answered, unfortunately.
Yeah, actually, one of my negatives literally just said, wait, who's that? Dash several times.
The music was pretty sweet. If we can backtrack for 4 seconds.
We're gonna go backwards. Yeah, it was because they had a title track
I'll give it to it where I can.
called Guns.
The music kind of reminded me of some of the new retro wave stuff that pops up on Spotify recommends for me and Tom. Like, it's not really good, but I'm like, I kind of want to listen to this 80s soundtracky type stuff. And people are still cranking it out. You know.
I know, still, which is great because sometimes that's like all I need.
Yeah.
Is that?
Nice background.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the dialogue in this movie was so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Like at the end when Eric Estrada, she was like, "You killed my father." And he was like, "It was business, nothing personal. Unfortunately, I take my business personally." I was like, what?
Huh?
Oh my God, I must have missed that one because I did not get to cringe at it.
It was
Oh,
like
that
right
was
before
bad.
she shot him
Yeah.
when he was like, "I am some guy you totally didn't even know about." And she's like, "You killed my father."
Oh yeah.
When he
that's
had
right.
her mother hostage, who was obviously like 20 years younger than she was.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I didn't understand that. Donna was so leathery.
Oh, leathery Donna.
She was a leathery old battle axe.
Yeah. Well, you know how Tom feels about leather now, so maybe that's why I picked this.
I like Donna. Yeah, on top of the dialogue, there were the two specific things I had written down for failures were in regards to the dialogue. There was that in the beginning of the movie when we first meet Eric Estrada and our two assassin characters, they go and tell this really long, complex story about how they killed a guy with an olive.
Yeah, the olive story was 20 minutes long.
It was long, and I feel like they thought the fact that they used an olive to do it was funny. And I mean, actually, saying it now, it's kind of funny to say.
The concept is way funnier. It's way funnier in theory than it is in execution.
Show, don't tell.
Yes.
I think is the problem there.
Yeah, if they had showed this man eating that olive and exploding, then maybe we would have laughed.
Yeah.
And on top of that, everyone in the beginning sounded like they were just reading off their character bio page that they were handed. Like everyone was just divulging facts about themselves to everyone else in the room just to allow us to get with these people quickly.
Yeah, well, that woman Rocky, the redheaded lady who like ran the restaurant, when she was talking about how she was an FBI agent
in public, in the middle of a gift shop.
Yeah, I was like, are we led to believe that this should be taken seriously?
I felt bad for Rocky when she died.
Did.
I was like, you know what? I liked her. Out of all the women in that room, I was like, I like her. And then she was the first one getting iced.
She was a saucy redhead.
Second one getting iced, but that's okay. Anything else before we move on to favorite parts?
I just have so many weird things written down.
Okay. Well,
Does that mean you have some questions, perhaps?
I do have questions.
All right, well, let's do questions.
Well, the first one was if Rocky was really an FBI agent, which that answered that because she died 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Why does Estrada want Nicole dead?
I looked that up on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia has that much detail in this movie?
No, it's 2 sentences.
And it's just so they can relocate the gun trafficking.
That's all that's...
How does he even know who she fucking is?
I don't fucking know. Don't yell at me.
Fuck. Answer my questions.
Holy shit, I don't know. She works for the agency.
Yeah,
That's a real problem.
How those hitmen were like cross-dressers?
I don't know. That was a very weird choice.
It was very weird. Like, I don't know. Okay, you dress as a woman once to like take somebody out in unnoticeable fashion, I guess.
Okay.
If we're gonna call it that.
Sure.
But then it just kept happening, and then like they did it once, and then they were just in a bar, and they weren't killing anybody. I was like, so are they doing this to disguise themselves, or are they doing this just because they do it?
Both, I guess.
I don't know.
So one thing that I've noticed about the Andy Sedaris movies is he's clearly got some love for the James Bond series.
Yes.
And he's gone far enough to just completely straight up rip them off.
Uh-huh.
And I have a feeling that was his way of maybe creating like a James Bond style henchman, like two assassins that cross-dress, which is semi-parallel to the villains in Diamonds Are Forever, who are like two 1970s gay guys, so like extremely caricaturish.
Yeah.
But I got the same vibe from those characters as I did from the Diamonds Are Forever henchmen, who are awesome, by the way. We're going to watch that at some point. You're going to love it. Those characters rule.
That sounds like a lot of fun. But yeah, this was very a clear James Bond rip. So we had our, it had the title track, but I mean, so does his other movies, but that's okay. But then the cover art from the movie is very much James Bond. And you even noticed a line of dialogue directly taken from a Bond movie.
Yeah. I mean, this movie is nothing but, I mean, to be nice, it would be an homage. To be real, it would be a complete ripoff.
Yeah.
And how he is ripped off like everything from James Bond and Miami Vice and God knows what else and just smushed it all together.
I feel like it's so much Baywatch going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of Baywatch going on.
Baywatch.
I'm sure if I'd ever seen Baywatch, I would be like, this is Baywatch.
I haven't even seen a lot of Baywatch. And I just feel it.
Sorry to cut you off. I also felt like this movie didn't really know what it was as far as being very adult or very made for TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like they set us up for boobs a whole bunch of times and then didn't deliver.
That's right.
And then they finally did, but it was like nip slip.
Well, no, they went full.
No, I know, but I mean, for the amount of times they set us up for it, and then to just like do it a little bit, and then to not do it again until like 40 minutes later, I just thought that was weird.
I think it was in the middle of while Tom was looking up if this movie was made for TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, Tom, you can put the phone down.
I'm like, this is weird. I was like, this is
And
his
then
movie.
no one drops an F-bomb until like 55 minutes in.
I don't even remember that.
Somebody says fuck one time.
Wow.
But then at the beginning, when they were being chased, or when they were chasing the cross-dresser guys in their helicopter, Donna was like, we're up to our butts in this thing. I was like, up to our butts, man. Who is this movie for?
Yeah.
It was
I don't know.
very confusing.
Maybe there's a really tight window of acceptance of this kind of stuff. So if you tone down one end of things, you can ramp up the other end and still make your way onto like premium cable or something.
Hang on to your butts.
You know what I mean?
see that.
You know, like getting on a late night, you know, I don't know, pay cable station might be easier if you don't go as far as you can in every direction.
I mean,
Yeah,
you could
guess.
very, very, very easily edit this to just be completely TV safe if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, totally. And I wonder if that was actually kept in mind at any point with any of these movies. Like he could have cut around all that stuff.
Oh yeah, wouldn't be
Was
difficult.
it like one sex scene?
Yeah. Yeah, if there's probably a couple. There was one on a motorcycle, which was cool.
Oh, that's so dumb. I expect them to start doing like some Cirque du Soleil shit and like balancing their weight and like moving around. I was like, this is gonna be terrible.
I was really hoping the motorcycle would just start up and take off while they're fucking.
They would fall off a cliff.
I think my perspective of this movie would be much different if that were to have happened. Any other questions?
I don't have a question. I do have an observation though.
Okay.
That I noticed in this and so many other movies. I feel like a lot of people's idea of sex in the 80s was just women straddling men, fluffing their hair, and moaning.
Well, I mean, everyone had such wonderful feathered hair.
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that's what
Is it like
soft
the
corn.
peacocking?
Soft corn.
Soft corn. That's pretty sure that's what
Soft corn porn.
Soft corning is all about.
It's certainly corning.
It's porn that you don't get hard to. Alrighty.
Soft corn.
My dick is all soft corn right now. Okay, favorite parts? Anyone help me?
Forgive
Part
us.
where you said soft corn.
The helicopter explosion with the slow-mo scream.
Holy
I think
shit.
we can all agree
Okay,
that was the best part of the whole movie.
definitely the tallest peak of this movie was a very great action scene.
So there's like a showdown in the desert, and fucking Battle Axe Donna has like a giant, it's not even giant, it's like the tiniest bazooka ever. It just has tiny rockets in it. And a helicopter with bad guys flies overhead, and she aims her rocket launcher at it. And we get like a long shot of the rocket like flying towards it, and then just a close up of the guy flying it going, "Ah!" And then just an explosion of flames.
Oh yeah, very well timed.
Oh, it was so good.
I don't think they told the guy in the helicopter that he was supposed to be screaming because he just barely had his mouth agape.
Yeah, just
He's like, "Wait, what do you mean I can't get another slice of turkey on my sub?"
it looked like he was staring like inquisitively, like, and they just superimposed like a scream over it.
Yeah, there was like I don't know. These are the moments you hope for when you watch these movies.
Yeah.
And that was the first one. It took a long time to get to, but it was kind of worth it because it was. They just whipped it out on us. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't have done it better myself. I would. I'm gonna save. Actually, Eric, what's one of your favorite parts?
The magician FBI agent who interrogates these two suspects with a top hat with a baton in it, and he starts hitting them. It was really weird. Basically, he starts up his interrogation of these two suspects, presenting himself as a magician. He has not introduced himself as a federal agent whatsoever. And he like puts a top hat on the table. He starts pulling like those colored strings out of it and like starts rubbing it in their faces or whatever. And they start giving him lip, and he just pulls a baton out of the hat and hits them with it. And it's so half-assed. Like they chopped the shot, so like he's already hitting them in the face by the time it cuts to the scene. Like basically, hand goes in hat, and then all of a sudden the guy's being hit with a baton. That whole scene was bizarre, and it's another one of those like. What were they going for? Was this like a super adult movie, or was it a super kids movie? Because that's like some weird shit you'd see in like a G-rated romp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but what he did with it was he made it really adult, brutal at the end, because then this FBI agent just pulls out a shotgun and shoots both of these guys in the chest
In quote self-defense.
in self-defense because he tells them to pick up the weapons. I'd say one of my favorite parts are when we see ninjas.
I think I had that. That was also one of my favorites. Out of fucking nowhere.
So ninjas just
Never
enter
before
the scene.
and never again.
We're at the gym with our plethora of good guys, and then they get attacked by ninjas, to which we still don't know why. I think Danny Trejo's character, Ton, hired them.
I guess so, yeah.
Break into a gym in broad daylight and attack 2 characters we'll see again and one we won't.
It was pretty good though. They sneak into the scene.
It's just,
I think my favorite part of that entire scene is after they're done beating up. Well, they beat up one buff dude, and then this ripped fucking black giant dude who's awesome, and he's wearing like a skin tight fucking unitard
white onesie with a pink stripe down the side.
Oh,
he was
man.
an American Gladiator.
He
had to have been.
decimated
He
them.
was an understudy for Harlem Heat for sure.
Well, he decimated one of them, and then the other one pulled out his sword, and then as he was about to chop the black guy, Donna showed up in her lingerie from the dressing room. Locker room?
Yeah, sure.
And the ninja was like, hiya! And she was like, hiya my ass! And then shot him.
Shot him dead.
This movie had a lot of lines like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just didn't spend any time in the writer's room for the one-liners.
No, not at all.
No,
I feel like having really good one-liners would raise the tier of this movie a lot.
yeah, it would have because they had a lot of opportunity to make a good joke.
Mm-hmm. And that would be like really memorable.
Kind of missed it though.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I do have one more thing. If
And-
nobody else does.
If you have, go for it.
At the casino, when Nicole goes to the bathroom and is followed by the 2 cross-dressing hitmen, she shoots one of them, he dies. The other one shoots at her and then jumps into a stall and closes the door. And she like slides into the corner and is shooting him. And then her partner from outside the door hears it, flies through the door, slides across the bathroom floor on his knees, like lands right next to her, and then just immediately starts shooting the bathroom.
Dude, he straight up risky businessed into that room. It was
Not
awesome.
like, what's going on? Like, who are we shooting at? Just nope. Just gonna slide and shoot.
That's a loyal partner. He
It is.
did the rock and roll slide to help. It was very good. I have one more small thing. At the very end of the movie, we had Donna show back up with her awesome missile launcher, and Eric Estrada's there, and she shoots him with 4 fucking missiles.
That was pretty awesome.
All 4 of them, emptied the whole thing, just one after the other, blew him to smithereens. And I appreciate it. I'm like, man, she just unloaded. That was a harsh death.
Yeah, even Charles Bronson usually just does 1 missile.
Overkill.
This was 4 missiles for one guy.
Yeah. That actually reminded me of my last favorite part, which I thought I had already read, but they were 2 separate things. The very literal end of this movie.
The last
The
frame
last,
of this
like,
movie?
frame of
I loved it. Loved it.
So the last short scene we see is Donna and Nicole running toward each other on a beach, on a sunset beach in bikinis, everything bouncing. They finally
Hell
reach
yeah.
each other and like do a special high five and then roll credits.
They did a Predator handshake.
They did the Predator handshake in a medium. Basically, it was our shot that we did on the beach.
It was Rocky 3 on the beach with Predator handshake. 2 great tastes.
It was awesome. That
was pretty good.
Might be the cover photo, if not in the post, because I loved it. I'm good on favorite parts. Eric, if you're good, I
I
think
think I'm good,
I'm
yeah.
ready to rat.
let's rate it.
Let's wrap.
So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
fuck
I'm going to
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Let's rate Guns from 1990, Andy Sedaris movie off of the Girls, Guns, and G-Strings DVD pack. So who wants to begin?
I can go.
All right, Eric.
I'll give it a fucking fine.
All right.
Stole my rat.
I'm sorry. I felt it coming. I had to get in. I did enjoy this much more than I enjoyed the other Andy Sedaris entries. I feel like at this point he probably built up some cred. He was making a lot of sales in the rental business. He got kind of a budget, some nice production values.
Eric Estrada.
He got Eric Estrada. He got a name. You know, I mean, Eric Estrada was certainly on his way out at this point. But I mean, either way, it is someone that we recognized, and Eric Estrada was pretty good in it too.
Yeah.
I think the reason I'm not willing to give it a traditional like fuck yeah, fuck yes is because everything about this movie is a ripoff. Like Andy Sedaris was taking a lot of shortcuts here in terms of saying, okay, well, Miami Vice was really popular. I'm going to steal a lot of stuff from that. James Bond was really popular. I'm going to take a lot of things from that. Baywatch, whatever he was pulling from. And as much as I can enjoy the homage that comes along with all this, I can't really give him credit for coming up with any of these concepts. He's basically just using it as a shortcut to produce what he was already making. And in fairness, it made what he wanted to make a lot better, because his early entries are really boring and sucky. So it's certainly watchable, and if you like the things that he's ripping from, it's a lot of fun. I think it probably could have been better. Like, honestly, if you told me that this was a pilot for a TV show from 1986, I'd say this is pretty good. I don't know why this didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
In terms of a full-fledged movie, it wears a little thin.
Okay. And you're going to go ahead and use the same rating.
Yes, I'm also going to give it a fucking fine. I agree. It was probably the most enjoyable one we've watched of his so far.
Yeah.
It wasn't offensive in any way. I mean, the plot was kind of convoluted, but I can forgive it that, because despite that, for some fucking reason, it kept my attention the whole time and made me want to know what was going to happen. That being said, everything could have been better. Like, they could have just taken things farther. Like, we talked about how there was like a couple of cool parts that really stand out. I think they could have added those more, or more one-liners, or just cut out some unnecessary characters and like plot fat that just made it more confusing.
Yeah.
But if you're bored and you like this type of cheesy action flick, fucking watch it, because it's entertaining at the very least.
Yeah, no, it's definitely entertaining, and I'll agree with both of you. I think I'll give it a fucking fine as well. I think that's probably the best rating this movie could get.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the most tolerable Andy Sedaris movie we've watched yet.
For sure.
I do have, I think, slightly higher hopes for some of the other ones. I hope we can get one of his movies to be at the fuck yes or fuck yeah level, because they're almost there. Like, it's almost there. A couple of small tweaks, and this could have been a very different experience.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that's what Hard to Get to Hawaii was supposed to be, because I feel like it's his most talked about, but it just didn't do it for us.
I know he's got Savage Beach, which is, I think that might be his biggest deal.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where he really hit his stride, and then he did the remake in the late 90s as well of that, Return to Savage Beach. So I think maybe we should do a double feature one day and just try and hammer those down.
Okay.
I'm to the bottom of this.
I'm definitely interested to see his progression as a director, because it's pretty clear that he improved a lot over a relatively short period of time. Because usually when we revisit the same director, they're always garbage and they always suck and they never improve.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always exactly the same.
Yeah, we don't need to do it more than twice. Whereas I feel like with Andy Sedaris, we can see like a chronological improvement every single time we watch one of his movies.
Yeah, we saw 1, 3, and now 5. I think this is the 5th movie he's made. So out of the 12 or so.
Yeah, I'd say everything was noticeably better in this. Like, the acting was better. It just looked better. More put together. More streamlined.
Yeah.
Maybe we can keep this steady rise up for the next one then. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
I'm sorry, I've been coughing a lot. I'm dying.
It's okay. I think we'll live, but you're dead. All right, this has been Second Class Cinema. We watched Guns from 1990, Andy Sedaris movie off the Girls, Guns, and G-Strings DVD pack that he has that we purchased on Amazon. It was pretty inexpensive. It's got to be like...
It was like $5.
It's got to be like $5 or $6. You get 12 movies and a lot of boobs. So for all you horn dogs...
Yeah. I mean, try finding those on the internet.
You're telling me.
Got to go to the Amazon and order the Andy Sedaris 12-pack extravaganza.
All you soft corn lovers out there. Go ahead and buy these. If you'd like
Not
more...
imagine anyone getting an erection to this movie.
No, it almost happened, but it didn't.
Like so many other things.
Like so many, yeah. Okay, we're done. If you want more information, you can come to Facebook, facebook.com/secondclasscinema. You can listen to us wherever you're listening to us right now. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, secondclasscinema.com, and followingfilms.com.
I thought you were going to say you can listen to us anywhere.
Listen to us anywhere.
If you're
Listen to
driving
us
into
everywhere.
work, if you're in the office, perhaps, and you want to listen to someone talk about soft corn.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Safe for work.
All right, yeah, okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
Don't chastise us.
What? We need to stop. The show is
Fine.
over. The show is over.
Fine.
We're done.